Thursday night, and it's STC night. Good evening, folks. This is your friendly voice, calling to you from virtual Norway. We are here at the Blue Flag Racing STC race, the Sim Racing Team Challenge. It's the last, it's the final lap, it's the final showdown, and tonight we'll know who wins the trophy and who wins the grand prize of the STC. It's round number 12, sorry, and I'm Eckhart von Glan, your friendly voice. So, let's have a very quick look at the overall standings, because it's about 2 minutes till the start of the race, so not much time left for us folks. And there we are. Overall standings, it's the GMT-DHR Racing leading the pack with 431 points. That's 13 points ahead of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, who unfortunately suffered the loss of one car in the last round. And then in 3, it's the Flat Out Club at 304 points, followed very closely, only 14 points behind. That's the Black Rebels, and then another close contender for third position, that's the Black Visor Motorsports at 287. So we have 2 teams fighting for the top 2 positions, 3 teams fighting for position number 3. And then we have another gaggle of 3 teams slugging it out for the last of the top 6 places, and that's Flat Out Junior in 6th with 164 points. The Team GG in 7 with 155 points, and the Blue Flag Racing, who lost both racers in the last 2 races, at 151 points. We then have DHR Fanatec with 130, Danielson Motorsport Virtual at 118, and Amy Racing at 103. Well, it's a big fight up here. Points for grab. Points up for grab tonight are 25 points for the first place, 23 points for the second place, 21 points for the third place, and then 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, all the way down to 3 points for the 21st racer. And right now the game is set to start. We have another 2 minutes on the grid, and with me tonight, of course, as always, is my trusted cameraman and top organizer, Jose Estrada. Good night, Jose.
Good night, Eckhart. Good night, everybody. Well, after the last race we couldn't broadcast, I hope we have a good show today.
We certainly have, but we already have a very piece of bad news for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, because they have just lost a racer as the team go on the grid. Rami Kaukola is out of the race. Now this, more or less, puts the championship within reach of GMT-DHR Racing. They are 2 racers in the race, and against only one of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. However, simply surviving the very technical track here at Mo I Rana will be difficult enough. Well, Jose, while we're on the track, should we do a rundown from the front to the back so everybody can see where the racers from their team have ended up after the qualification?
Okay, let's go. It's indeed bad news from Rami.
Yes, very bad indeed, but they still have the top spot here. They still have Dragos Haba at number 1 pole sitter with a time of 1:19.771. He was the only one to beat the 1:20. That's the Roaring Pipes Maniacs in position number 1. Position number 2, it's Vincen Staal, who won the last 3 races in a row for the GMT-DHR Racing. Position 3, top star David Greco for the Black Rebels. Position number 4, another top star, Fredrik Tackman for the Danielson Motorsports Virtual. So we have 4 different teams in the 2 front rows. That's going to be an awesome race, folks. We have position number 7, that was, number 5, that was Rami Kaukola dropping out. In 6, we have Damien Danumain. In 7, we have Ben Tusting of the Black Visors, for the first time beating his teammate Tim Hogendorn, who is in position number 8 after the qualification. In 9, it's Ralph Iden for the team Flat Out. In 10, it's Brian Stark for the Flat Out Juniors. In 11, Mike Wrightson for the DHR Fanatec. In 12, Henk van der Meulen for Flat Out again. In 16, the second of the Fanatec racers, that's Carl Dubois. Sorry, that's in 13. In 14, Michael Hellen for the Black Rebels. In 15, the first of the Blue Flag racers, that's Christopher Larsson. In 16, John Westerlund for the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual. In 17, a new racer on the grid, Lee Ross for the Flat Out Juniors. In 18, it's supposed to be Mikael Larsson for the Blue Flag Racing, but it seems that we also have some trouble here on my team. In 19, Gaylord Landois, another new name here for the Team GG. In 20, Darren Gardner for the Aney Racing. And in 21, Sylvain Merlot for the Team GG. I haven't been able to spot Mikael Larsson on the grid, but there he is. He is there, he just vanished for a short time, so Mikael Larsson is still with us, Team Blue Flag are with us. We're on the formation lap now, and Jose, tell me which car you're going to pick when we do the start.
Well, I think we should remain with front positions with car number 1, number 2.
Perfect idea, mate. So, there we are then, Dragos Harbor in position number 1, following the safety car. They are now on the last bit of straight. Sad news for all of the fans of my Norwegian pronunciation. These turns don't have names, they simply have numbers. But now they're out of turn number 16, I think it is, and they're on to the start and finish straight, and we're about to start the race. Dragos Harbor in front. Dragos Harbor crossing the finish line now. Vincen Staal in 2, and David Greco in 3. And there's a bit of a hassle behind these 3 in the front. There is Damien Denhumain in 4 for the GMT-DHR, Ben Tusting in 5 for the Black Visors, Ralph Iden in 6, and no sign yet of Fredrik Tackman for the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual. He must have run into some trouble because he's down to position number 7. I saw at least 2 or 3 cars closing in on him at the start. But let's stick with the guys in front. Let's see how they finish their first lap. It's Vincen Staal in 2, it's Dragos Harbor in 1, and he is leading safely. He has quite a bit of a distance, but now he's off the track, and that is the naughtiest turn of them all. That turn is not only about 180 degrees, it's also turned outside. And so Vincen Staal now in 1. Would he be able to do 4 in a row? That of course is a long way to go, but right now disaster has struck for the second time for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. It might turn out to be a very black night indeed for them. David Greco following our leader, following Vincen Staal. And here they are on the straight. It's the end of the first lap, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I'm not mistaken. And David Greco in 2, Vincen Staal in 1, and we have another car dropping out of the race. We have Darren Gardner for the Aney Racing out of the race in position number 20. Greco in 2, Staal in 1, Denhumain in 3, and Dragos Harbor in 4. So they're still up there. It's become a bit less diverse, the field. We're missing the Danielsson Motorsports up there, but I'm sure that Fredrik Tackman will be back in one of the leading positions in no small time. Greco in 2, Staal in 1, and leading quite safely, but it's not that he can put much of a distance between his ride and David Greco's. Remember how he pulled away at Dijon-Prenois in both the races. He virtually did a lonely race right from the top. But tonight it's a different story. Tonight David Greco was out there to follow him. And, I just wanted to say another racer has left the game, but it was just Jose going back to the camera there. And, Jose, you're still with me on the line, aren't you? How did you see the start? Did you see what happened to the Danielsson Motorsports racer?
No, because you know that I'm quite alone today, and I had some trouble controlling the start and the broadcast, so I missed a little bit the start, but I caught the accident. Really don't know what happened.
Alright, yeah, there was a bit of a hassle there, a bit of a tussle. Let's see what people say on the forum afterwards, what happened there, and you can all, of course, then download the replay at our site at Race Department and then see what actually happened to the Danielsson Motorsport Virtual Racer Fredrik Tackman in turn number 1. But here we are with the top of the grid with Vincen Staal in the lead and David Greco exactly in the same position that he was 1 lap back. They're now into this really nasty turn, and watch how they struggle. I mean, these are no mean racers, these are top racers, and they're really struggling to keep the cars on track here because that turn is really nasty because it's kind of slippery in the wet, as it is another rainy day here today in Norway, and then it's not banked, but exactly the other way around, so it's, I don't have actually the correct English word for it, so it slopes down on the outside, and that is just so difficult to control, especially with the GTPro. It is very difficult to get the force down on the virtual tarmac as you exit that turn, and it's extremely difficult to take the right tack going into the turn as well. Well, they are now in the turn number 1 and 2, coming out of 2 now, approaching number 3. It's the first of the steep uphill climbs here. For those of you interested in numbers, the steepest climb that we find on the track here is 6.2%, which is really very steep. And then the path that you see right now is the steepest descent. It's 8.6% in real life. Now that is what I call a descent. It's almost as if you're in the Alps. And now Greco is closing in on Staal. A little. Staal must have made just the tiniest mistake somewhere, and Greco is well within reach. For the tournament as such, for the overall positions, this is of course no big trouble for the GMT. They have to take care that Damien Danumain reaches the finish line so that they get both their cars in the game, finish the game. And they have to take care that Dragos Haba doesn't get anywhere close to Vincen Staal. However, for the Black Rebels, this is good news. It might secure them the 3rd position in the overall standings. They have David Greco in number 2, which would lead to 23 points. Greco now very close to Staal. It seems as if he's been waiting a little for the first 1 or 2 laps, studying his opponent, and it seems as if he's closing in now. And unfortunately, another piece of bad news for one of the teams, Hank van der Meulen for the Flat Out Racing is out of the race as well. So we're down to 19 and only 3 laps. And now Greco's on the inside. They are nearly touching because Staal braked just a little early. Greco there trying to avoid Staal. It was not in any way a maneuver trying to get past him, just trying to avoid Staal. And then coming out of the turn, they nearly touched. Sorry, going into the turn, they nearly touched. But right now Greco is back in position number 2, and you can see here that Staal brakes a little earlier than Greco, and Staal's lines are a bit more, let's say, erratic than Greco's. Look at this. Look how he turns in here. Massive slide of the Aston Martin over the front wheels, and then Greco's lines are much cleaner. So I think if Greco can just keep the pressure on there, he might pass Staal in the next 1 or 2 laps, and then that might put Vincen Staal in a position he hasn't been in the STC, in position number 2, in fact. Jose, a question to you, because you're a team member of David Greco's. Did he train a lot for this race?
Not really. I mean, not like people train, for example, for Formula Sim racing or so. We were talking about this the other day, and we conclude that it's not good for Sim Racing Championship when you have to spend too much time on training. Of course, it's good level of racing and it's more professional, but maybe in long term it becomes too much for the drivers, and then they start to drop the championship. At least it's the impression David had the other day when we talked.
I think you have a point there. It's after all, it's just a game we play in the evening, isn't it? And so if it, nothing against professional guys, and we certainly see some amazingly professional level here. On the other hand, it's just a game, and we all have our real life lives, don't we? So we watched that, didn't we, in the race department championship of the WTCC championship, where people put in something like 200 laps or so in the qualification and just spent hours and hours and hours playing the game. And you tend to lose interest, don't you, just doing your laps again and again and again. And so I'm glad to hear that Greco just by sheer natural talent follows Staal here. And we know that Staal, in the first race he joined, he had something like 30 minutes before the race to prepare for the race. And so that is just breathtaking, isn't it, what these guys can do here with that little bit of training. Well, I'll say, since they seem to be locked in position 1 and 2 fairly securely, and I don't see David making a move anytime soon, let's have a very quick rundown of the grid to see after 4 or 5 laps who is still with us and who isn't. Shall we?
Okay, let's go. Anyway,
well,
yeah. Sorry, about we talked before. I don't want to say that it's not very good to have competitions with very, very high level and a lot of hours of training. Not at all. No, it's not the point. But I mean, for this team championship, we cannot go to that format because not all the people have the time. It's only that what I wanted to explain.
Yes, I totally agree. You know, my motto is proudly amateur, and when I race here, I'm 3 or 4 laps down, but it's great fun, and everybody's fair, everybody's having a good time, lots of really nice chaps here. I haven't heard an ugly word the whole championship, haven't we? It's on the forums, everything's peaceful, everybody's enjoying themselves, so I think that's really what it's all about. Having a good time, having some fun, and the level here is just absolutely breathtaking, isn't it?
Yes, I think we can be happy of that. There is quite a relaxed ambience, but it's still very competitive, and I think we have a very, very good level in the grid, and that's thanks to the teams, obviously, because all the teams commit really, really more than expected. I think because we all have a life, a job, and it's really difficult to be Thursday after Thursday here racing. But really happy with that.
I think it speaks for your league and for everybody on the staff here who make this possible, that people just come back night after night after night and really enjoy this and having a great time. And I can imagine that Greco and Staal are having the time of their lives right now. It's such a close battle here in awesome, awfully conditions, and with these huge GTPro monsters, it's one hell of a show. But here's the promised rundown. We're in 1 with Vincen Staal for GMT-DHR Racing. He started in 2, he's back up in 1, where he used to be, but he's followed very closely in 2 by David Greco of the Black Rebels. Let's move now to 3. In 3, we have Dragos Haber, brother of Christian Haber, who scored 2 wins already in the STC, if I'm not mistaken, and he is a little way down already. He's going to have a very hard time catching up on the other 2 in front. If I'm not mistaken, he's down something like 8 to 9 seconds. And then in 4, following him very, very closely, it's Damien May, the second of the GMT-DH racers. And watch these guys in that turn. It is nasty as hell. It sure is. For all those of you who've never played the track, go out tonight, download it, and do that turn in rain. I dare you. It's awful. And then in 5, a absolutely breathtaking performance here by Ben Tusting for the Black Visors, and usually he's the one following his teammate Tim Hogendorn, but tonight he's the one setting the pace in the Monster in position number 5. In 6, it's Rolf Eiden for the Flat Out Racers, and they are competing, let's not forget, for position number 3 with the Black Rebels and with the Black Visors. So it seems that in that competition, at this point, it's the Black Rebels who are a bit having an advantage. In 7, it's Fredrik Tackman, who dropped the most spectacularly from the grid. He was 4 on the grid, and he's now down to 7, following Aiden off the flat out. And he's, of course, racing for Danielson Motorsports Virtual in the green, white, and black Corvette. In 8, it's Mike Wrightson for the team GMT-DHR Fanatec. And yes,
sorry,
please.
I'm in contact with people in our pit wall, in our chat,
yep.
and they say it's a Saline again. You have a problem with that car.
Yes, I have a problem. Sorry, it's a Saline. Yes, by all means, it's a Saline. Sorry, mate. I must admit, I am not really interested in cars. And so, if I get the make wrong from time to time, yeah, that's because the cars are definitely not exactly my hobby. It's just the racing that I'm interested in. Alright, so Mike Wrightson in 8. Carl Dubois, his teammate, in 9. And we just saw one of the GG racers going off there. But I know that this is a Koenigsegg we're watching now. I just know it because it's got this crazy name. In 10, Christopher Larsson. And he very nearly slammed into Dubois and then went off the throttle to not slam into him, but had to leave the tarmac for that. In 11, the second of the Danielson Motorsports, and that's John Westerlund, and he moved up 5 places. So they have 1 car going down, 1 car going up. Fair enough. In 12, Brian Stark for the Flat Out Juniors. That is some close racing here for position 9 to 12. In 13, Mikael Hellen, the second of the Black Rebels. In 14, Tim Hogendorn. He must have had a slide somewhere. That's not usually where we find him. He must have had an off moment that we couldn't capture on the screen. In 15, Mikael Larsson for the Black, not for the Black Rebels, sorry mates, for the Blue Flag Racing, of course, in the Aston Martin.
Is your team? Come on.
Yes, I know, but it's the last race, so I'm allowed to do some mistakes. It's Lee Ross in 17 for the Flat Out Juniors. And that's a very close battle, and now he's in 16. That's Gaylord Landois for the Team GG. That was a touch for Lee Ross, but Lee Ross rejoins, and Gaylord is waiting for him. Now that is what I call real gentleman racing. Gaylord out there, and now Lee Ross is out too. It seems that he has a puncture on the front right. That's what his driving is indicating, and unfortunately we seem to have witnessed the end of Lee Ross's first sim racing team challenge race. It looks as if he's about to leave the race. At least that's what it looks like to me. In 18, and I think that's the last car actually on the track still running, it's Sylvain Merlot, again for the team GG. So sorry to Lee Ross there. The only time we caught you on the screen was when you touched that GG racer. To me it was just a normal racing incident. Nothing bad happening there. And so he's out of the race, and we have 18 racers left. And let's go back to the front and see how the battle for position number 1 shapes up. And there we are, back as they finish this lap, and as Lee Ross, probably quite frustratedly, sorry mate, leaves the game. And it's still the same battle. It's still Vincen Staal in front, and still David Greco in 2. And Greco is playing a bit of hide and seek, playing a bit of cat and mouse, I think, with Vincen Staal here, following him closely, putting a very, very even, very professional pressure on him, and Vincen Staal does a heck of a job staying up there in front. This is racing, sim racing, I guess, at the highest possible level that we're watching here tonight. Absolutely brilliant. Little slide there by Staal, but he's back in control. And David Greco. We know that the Audi is not the fastest simulated racer here on the straights, but there's lots of tricky turns at MoIRana in Norway, and I think this is the advantage that the Audi has tonight. Notice how they go into this turn. Notice how very much in control Greco is throughout most of the turn, while Staal really lets the car slide into the turn, has a little bit of a slide in the middle of the turn, and then ends up somewhere on the outside. But he manages to keep the pace. It's breathtaking how he does it. He manages to keep the pace. And if you're in a position to watch his tail lights, you will see that they're constantly flashing on and off, so he's really brilliantly playing with the brake pedal in steadying the car here. They now have both the GG racers in front. It's going to be like a double lap. One of them slows down. I suppose that's Merlot, and the second one is up for grabs now as they move through this very fast death. You can actually get carried away here in the real sense of the word. Now uphill drive into the narrowest turn, and this seems to be where Greco has his main advantage, this passage now. Downhill again, and it seems that the Audi is just slightly better in this passage. Notice how he gets closer here. So if he wants to set up a move, I think that's the place for him to do it, or in that awful turn that we are approaching now. Another fast end, and now Greco is on the outside, and great defensive move there by Staal, and Greco hit Staal. Greco hit Staal, they're both out. Let's hope that Staal doesn't damage his car too much. That was a huge hit. None of Greco's mistake at all. Staal was defending. Staal was using the GG racer as kind of a virtual defense. Very clever move by him. And then Greco really couldn't do anything else, couldn't move anyplace else other than hitting him in the back. But he waited for him to rejoin. And now Greco has some trouble. He's lost his rhythm, obviously. He definitely has. And this should put Dragos Haber back into the picture. Let's see where he... And it's not Dragos Haber, it's Damien Dane-Humane and Dragos Haber, and Staal goes into the pits. Staal goes into the pits, Haber goes into second, and Damien Dane-Humane is in third. It's a complete change in half a lap, folks. It's Greco in front, it's Haber in second, and it's Dane-Humane in third. It doesn't mean that the championship is wide open again, but it means that the championship is much closer than it was before. What looked like a takeaway victory for GMT-DHR Racing has turned into a position number 3 for GMT and a position number 2 for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, and into a lead for the Black Rebels. And that was very exciting in the last half lap. How did you see the maneuver there between Greco and Staal, to say?
Well, you know, with my broadcaster screen, I don't have that good view. So I won't say anything, because I will be, like we say in Spanish, I don't know in English, but I could be prisoner of my words after. So I prefer to...
Yeah, okay, I'm not going to ask you again. Yes, so you're on the small screen, the small black and white thingy. For those of you who don't know, PSR-TV offers you like a little black and white screen. It's got about the size, I would say, of 2 matchboxes. And it's black and white, so it's really difficult to follow, but it's your only help if you lose contact with the game. And they have kept me in the spectator booth, I think 2 times, in the commentator booth, sorry, and I could go on commenting, so thanks to PSR for that little screen, helps a lot. We're with the leaders here. It's still David Greco in front, David Greco, he's from Italy, and it's still Dragos Haber in 2, the Dragon, and it's still Damien Dane-Humane in 3. And it looks as if these 3 are now set to slug it out between them. And let me quickly check how many laps we've done so far. So, back with you from the timing screen, and that was lap 16 that they were on. And the sad news for GMT-DHR Racing is that Staal, of course, had to go into the pits, repair his virtual right, and he's down a whole minute. Now that, of course, in the rarefied air of top sim racing is a lot, to say the least. 60 laps, that means we're something like half an hour into the race. We're still 50 minutes away from the pit window. I suppose it's only going to be 1 pit stop here, and it's David Greco leading the race. Second position for Dragos Haber for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, but I don't think he can quite follow Greco's pace here. And then third position for Damien Dane-Humane. in position number 4 we have Ralph Iden for the Flat Out Racing. And Jose, we should go to 4 and 5 actually. There's a huge battle going on there between Ralph Iden and Mr. Fredrik Tackman, trying to take back the place that he occupied on the grid but lost in the first turn.
Yes, I got. They are pretty close. Can be interesting. A lot of action today.
Certainly is, and this is a track that actually invites the action because it is so very technical and so tricky, especially in the rain. And in the last race, I think we had only 12 cars surviving here because of all the problem that this track poses. What's your bet for tonight, Jose? How many of these virtual races will actually reach the finish line?
Okay, let's say 15.
Good bet there, mate. I'm going to go for 13. Let's see who comes up better in the final analysis. There was some huge lag right now, pretty much the same lag spike that killed my race a week ago, went into the wall after that lag spike. But apart from that, it's a great battle here between Ralph Iden in the black and yellow flat-out racing Audi R8, and then Fredrik Tackman for the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual in the green, white and black Corvette. Right now, Iden a bit slow in that uphill turn there, and Tackman, trying to avoid him, had to go on the grass a little. And the grass, let me tell you folks, it looks kind of brownish, but it's not sand. It's supposed to be this, I don't know what it's called, Arctic grass or something. I would call it tundra. And it is awfully slippery on the best of days, and I suppose in the rain it's even worse. So if you get something like 2 wheels solidly on that brown stuff here, you're pretty much lost and you pretty much lose your ride. Ralph Iden still defending his position against Fredrik Tackman, and both of them look very much in control. Some very fine and clean lines that they're taking here at Virtual MoIRana up in Norway. Fredrik Tackman, I suppose he looks like a very experienced racer to me from the way he's going about his game here, and I suppose he's in the position where he's waiting for the mistake. They're now in, I don't know, I must give this turn a nickname, the awful turn, or the turn where you lose control or whatever. And this one is also quite tricky, the next one here, because you tend to go wide a lot, and you only have very little time to get back on the track here before you have this last, the penultimate turn before you then head towards the last 180-degree turn. Ralph Iden in no way taking a defensive line here. He still stays on a very offensive line, so that means he's not really feeling the pressure in the way that he feels he has to defend by all means. I think that he's pretty much in control of what he's doing here, and Tackman gets close from time to time, lets him know that he's there, but Tackman also driving very sensibly, doesn't want to lose it, doesn't want to spoil the race for Ralph and for himself. So that's a very slow turn here where the cars get very, very close, and then it's the downhill section, and you have to lift the throttle a little, and then you go back on the throttle here. Into the next left-hander, then into another very quick S. I can see that both of them touch the brakes lightly here. I think it's a question of whether you're just lifting or touching the brakes. But from what I saw in the warm-up and also in the qualifying, I think most of the racers touched the brake just a tad here in that place. And then they're through my favorite turn, and we're almost completed a full lap with these two here. Very close racing, but also what I like most, very, very sensible racing. They know they have about an hour to go, and they don't want to lose it here. So Tackman putting on the pressure, but not putting on too much pressure, not daring any bold moves here. And I can see one of the GG racers going into the pits. That might already be the first of the planned stops. And I saw on my screen that the second of the GG racers had to leave the race. That Sylvain Merlot is out, so I think we're down to 17 and count. And folks, we're moving down the grid a little. There's another battle involving this time two Audis, and it's one of the flat-out juniors. It is Brian Stark. We saw him a lot on the track here, some great performances by him. And he's followed by my co-commentator Michael Hallen, who tonight is not helping me out from the pit as he usually does, but he's helping his team achieving what is at this point a very good result for the Black Rebels. And he is chasing the flat-out junior. He's chasing Brian Stark down virtual Mo I Rana. It's about the same fight that we had for position 4 and 5. Now we're in for position 8 and 9. And again, you see here some sensible racing by these guys. And I think this is typical touring car racing, isn't it, Jose? It's not as hectic as the Formula 1. At least to me, also, if I watch the real racing, it looks much more, I don't know what, sensible.
Yeah, it's quite classical GT racing, I think. It's not exactly like touring car, like sprint races where there is a lot of contact and everybody is in a hurry to overtake, but it's not also endurance, where there are other things more than overtaking what decides the race. Yes, I think it's classic GT.
Yeah, it's a great mix. I think you don't see it so much on the real silver screen, on the TV box in real life, unless you're booked to one of the satellite programs. But tonight, a little bit of advice here for those of you who can receive Eurosport. Once this race is over, of course, don't leave us now. But starting at 10 o'clock, they show the... and Ralph Iden, sorry, not Ralph Iden, but Brian Stark is going wide a little while I'm jabbering away. And Michael Hallen now, very, very close to him. I was just saying, there's the Le Mans 24 hours is on the telly tonight. From 10 to 12, they show the first training. You won't be able to see much, of course, because it's dark, but at least it'll catch the atmosphere. And speaking of the 24 hours, big event for the Black Rebels, isn't it?
Yes, 4 of us are going there. And I'm going also like a photographer for different media. One of that media is race department, of course. I will try to release some interesting material in our community. The community is not my community because I own it. I mean the community where we used to be. And
yep.
And well, also for two Spanish and Italian motors media, but it's quite a party and also a little bit of work for me. It's pretty cool. I'm really excited about it.
And we are excited about this fight here between the two Audis. Again, Brian Stark running just a little wide at the exit of that turn, and Michael Hallen again getting very close. And the other point where he's getting close is that 180-degree turn leading up to the start and finish phase. So let's see if he can finally squeeze past there. And the two cars you see in front are also actually in one lap, and I think once we've seen whether Michael can do something at this point, he's taking a slightly different line, but Stark has now realize what's going on there. Also taking, for the first time, I see a defensive line here, a very close line. So Jose, let's move up 2 positions and go to that other fight there. It's one of the black visors. It's Ben Tusting, following on the heels of Mike Wrightson. Another really close battle. We are in lap 21, if I'm not mistaken, of this race, and we have massive battles up and down the grid. And it's Ben Tusting here for the Black Visors. As I said, tonight he seems to be the #1 racer for the Black Visors. He's a great racer, is Ben, and he's following Mike Wrightson of the DHR Fanatec. We've seen many massive slide here by Ben Tusting, but brilliantly in control. And now into my favorite turn. Let's see how these two take it. In the right, that is not a Musler, but if I remember correctly, a Celine. And Mike Wrightson, of course, in the Koenigsegg. Oh, I really should pronounce it the German way, Koenigsegg. That's the way to pronounce it, actually, folks, Koenigsegg. So, Tusting in the Celine. Very nice black and red design there for the Black Visors, and the Koenigsegg there, Mike Wrightson for the DHR Fanatec. That's the junior team of the GMT-DHR. Close battle for position number 6, folks. And we're now moving down the grid just a little. We have these two fighting for a position that we've seen before. That's the Black Visor racer and the the DHR Fanatec racer there. We have them still fighting for a position in 8, Brian Stark, and in 9, Mikael Helen. And look who's coming. Look who's creeping up on them here. It's the second of the GMT-DH racers. It's Vincen Staal, and this chap already has a pit stop under his belt, and he is fighting for position number 10. And knowing the kind of great racer that he is, it's not going to take him long. And now here's the attack by Mikael Helen just as we're speaking. Mikael Helen is past. He got a little nudge there from Vincen Staal, but it wasn't to his disadvantage. In fact, it actually pushed him that little extra bit that he needed to get past the flat-out junior, to get past Mr. Brian Stark. And now it's Helen in 8, it's Vincen Staal in 9, and it's Stark in 10, and it looks almost as if Helen let Staal through. They're racing each other, but I suppose he knows who the guy is behind him, and I suppose he knows it's quite useless to try to put up that much of a resistance from the results we had Staal doing in the last 3 races. So Staal definitely on the way up. He's now in 8, and it remains to be seen where he will in fact end up. Quick guess from you, Jose. It's a guessing game tonight. Second guess tonight. Where will Vincen Staal end up? Position 4?
Okay, let me take it. He's 43 seconds. Yeah, to the top. So to be fourth, he has to recover. I think almost 30. Maybe it's too much, I think.
Okay, so guess from you. He's now in 8. How far would it go? Up to 6?
Yes, well, 6 sounds not enough for Vincent, but I would say 5. Okay, 5.
And now he's off the track. He tried to move into 6, into 7, and there must have been a little touch there, something that I have missed because I was on the timing screen and just came back and I saw him slide off. so it's not the luckiest of races. He was trying to move past Ben Tusting, if I'm not mistaken, into position number 7, and the two of them must have touched just a little. Don't know if it was close to be seen on your screen. Sorry, folks. I was, as I said, on the timing screen there, and when I came back, I just saw Vincen Staal moving away from a black ride, and that must have been Mr. Tusting for the black visors. And right now we saw a GT racer sticking in the wall there in my favorite turn, or rather at the exit of my favorite turn, in exactly the same place where I stuck last week, having that huge lag that sent my made my screen go blank. And sad news for my team, Mikael Larsson is also out of the race. And that means, if I'm not mistaken, we're down to 15 racers still struggling here on the track. And Mikael Helland decidedly is on the way up. It looks as if he is much, much faster than Ben Tusting. It looks as if Mr. Tusting is having more and more problems as the car gets lighter or as the tires wear down, whatever is the cause. And Mikael Helland definitely is faster than him, so he might be able to make a move. You're not missing anything at the front there. It's still Greco in front, followed by Haber and Dane Humain in 3. So let's stick with this fight here for positions number 7 and 6. Tusting in 6, Helland in 7. And Tusting's running wide, another guy running wide in that turn. This turn turns out to be one of the most decisive places in online sim racing. That puts Tusting in 9, it puts Staal in 8, it puts Mr. Brian Stark in 7, and it puts Mikael Helland in 6. Now if you remember that, Helland was in 15 on the grid. That is, sorry, in 14 on the grid. That is 8 places up. What a great performance by the Black Rebels racer. And he has position number 5 within his sights. Because it's pit time, and he's moving up now because Ralph Iden for the flat out is in the pits. He's moving up 1 position, and so are all the rest here. And Mike Wrightson is now in 4 for the for the DHR Fun Attack. Mikael Helland up in 5. And since it is pit time, Jose, shall we have a rundown of the grid to see where people are at this point in the race? So, especially for those races we haven't shown for a long time, the teammates know where they are?
Okay, perfect. Let's go. We are in P6 now with Brian Stark, that is being attacked by Vincen Staal. Yes, again.
Yeah, it's almost a shame to do that. So let's really stick with these two here. Vincen Staal on the prowl again, and look at that maneuver, Brian Stark. He knows who's coming, and he knows it might be a good idea to let the guy pass without taking too much of a too much of a dare here to have a little touch there and then go off the track. So Staal is up in 6, Brian Stark not putting up much resistance, but maybe a very wise move indeed. And now Staal is again behind Helland. So we're quickly going to number 1, I would say, and then I think as we are on the rundown we should catch up with these two again. Well, as the camera is moving up the grid, I can tell you that our race leader is entering the pits. So we're pretty lucky to catch him on his pit stop. It's David Greco entering the pits, which means we have a new race leader, and that is Gregos Haber. Gregos Haber now in the lead, David Greco in 2. And David Greco still in 2, even as he's pitting here, so that means the distance between him and the next racer must have been quite huge. All the other guys have already pitted, I guess. And David stays in 2. I can see car after car going past. And now they're about to change the tires. Motor is back on, so it won't take him very long, and he's occupying the first space, so he will be out on the track very quickly. Now he's down to 4, so in order to catch up on what's going on, we must go back up the grid. Greco in 4, and sorry for say, wrong direction, back up the grid again. It puts Vincen Staal back in 3, and he's had a pit before, and I know he's a very clever guy, so he probably also refueled at that time, so this might make him stay outside for a long time. It's Mike Wrightson in position number 2, and the race leader at this point is Dragos Haber, and Dragos is into the pits as well, so we are smack right in the pit window. And positions are about to change every second now. It's Mikael Hellen in the pits too. Mikael Hellen leaving the pits, and he has overtaken. No, he was before in front of Brian Stark before. So Stark also leaving the pits in the back there. And we should stay with Dragos to see where he comes out after the pit stop.
Yes, Eckhart, and I have to say Mike Wrightson is going to be disqualified. You want to know the reason? It's
yes,
because he didn't change the capital M of his name after I don't know how many times I tell that.
Oh, Mike Wrightson, shame on you, mate.
But I will send him a letter by normal mail.
Yes, you should really do that. Maybe a bit of a hate letter there. No, honestly, nothing too serious there for Mike Wrightson. All you DHR fan attack guys out there, don't be shocked. Mike Wrightson's not going to be disqualified, but if you meet him in person, tell him to please, for the next series, change his letter to capital letters in the front, because it just looks so much better on the screen. And so, Haber is out of the pit.
They won't do it. I think
maybe
it's kind of it's kind of fight of power, like the FOTA is doing with the FIA, you know. Like they don't want, if you change the first letter of your name to capitals, then you destroy the sport, and they won't do it.
Could be. You never know. So Haber's out in 4, out of the pits. And it means we need to go back up again a little. I can see another racer in the pit. That's the GMT-DHR racer. Haber in 4. David Greco in 3. Vincen Staal in 2. And Mike Wrightson, the guy with the small m, in 1. So Wrightson leads the race, but he still has to do a pit. Staal is in 2nd. He has done a pit stop, but it was very, very early on, I suppose about in lap 10. And I guess he needs to come back in for something like a slap and dash. But let's see how far he can draw that one out. He's about to move into position number 1 now. He's about to recapture his coveted first place, and yes, he does. A very clean move here by Vincen Staal, who is clearly much faster than Mr. Wrightson, and very sensible by Mike Wrightson to let him pass. So Staal back up in front in position number 1, Wrightson in 2. Let's see if Wrightson goes into the pits now. He is trying to follow, definitely, and he better should, because now he has David Greco nibbling at the rear end of the Koenigsegg there. And Greco now out on the front straight, and he is definitely passed. He puts down the power brilliantly as he takes the Audi out of that last turn, and now in the brake zone he can also put a few virtual meters between his ride and Wrightson, and now it's Haber's turn to pass Wrightson. This must not be the happiest moment of the race for Mike Wrightson, but I suppose he knows what's going on. I suppose he knows that these are the guys who have pitted, and this is actually the top of the field while he is still waiting for his pit.
Yeah, I will be really.
Yeah, go on.
I will be really scared, Eckhart, in Wrightson's situation, because normally he was fighting for position now, but normally when I have blue flags with these fast guys, I'm really scared. I remember in an I think it was RPM race, I had Jari in my back, and after his pit stop, I think, and I was really nervous, and I tried to make him the overtake really easy. It was in Imola in Aqua Minerale, and I really spun on the corner.
You did?
Because,
oh dear.
Yeah, I was really slow, too slow for that corner, and I spun, and I almost went in 90 degrees into his door, but we managed to don't contact. But it's a really bad remember I have of that race.
Yeah, it's for us slow guys, and Mike Wrightson, sorry Mike, you're not a slow guy at all, you're just amazingly fast. But at this point in the race, it looks as if the guys overtaking him are kind of the aliens we have here on the track. And Mike Wrightson is doing an awesome race. He's now down to 5 because Mr. Tackman, Fredrik Tackman of the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual has also passed him. But he should really come in for his pit stop now. It seems that his tires have worn down considerably and that he cannot really manage to keep the pace he had before. He's still in 5. Awesome job by Mike Wrightson here for the Fanatec's. And let's see if he's pitting now. So this gives you some idea of what's happening in front. We have a very close group in front. We have Staal in number 1. We have David Greco in 2. We have Dragos Haber in 3. And then we have Fredrik Tackman in 4 and Mike Wrightson in 5.
A big accident now. He went into
yes,
the
we
wall.
passed Haber. He definitely did. We passed Haber. We saw him. Yeah, it was a close battle, wasn't it? Sorry, and Haber, let's see if he can get back on track. His car looks absolutely damaged, and it's about the worst place of the track for this to happen, because now he has to crawl back 1 whole lap. But he can get the racer back on track, and he can still control it. Look at the speed, he can still control it quite well. And I see lots of virtual little red and yellow lights coming off the front left, so he must have a puncture on the front left, and he's going off the track now. He's down to position number 7. Roaring Pipes Maniacs out there, I'm sorry for you. It's a bad day. It's a black day for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. There must have been some contact between between Greco and Haber, because Greco was in 2 and Haber was in 3. I don't know if a lapped car was involved. It was not on my screen. And so Haber out, not out of the race, but down a lot. And he has to go back to the pits, and he is down to 7 at this point. So, while Jose is doing a quick rundown of the positions so that you actually see these guys competing here, doing a great job in MoIRana, I'm back in the front of the race, and David Greco back up in front. It's Vincen Staal in position number 2, and it's Fredrik Tackman waiting patiently in position number 3. And if I'm not mistaken, Tackman has the power to do a move on Greco in the last 10 to 15 minutes. He looks to be a guy very, very, very much in control of what he's doing here. We haven't seen a bad move by him at all. His lines are clean, his lines are smooth, and right now he's closing in on Vincen Staal in position number 2. They're pretty close to each other. It's Greco moving away a little at the front. Greco, another champion of the smooth lines. Between them, Vincen Staal in the GMT-DHR Racer, an awfully quick guy. But he's had his moments in this race. He's been off the track, he's been in the pits, and he's fighting here. He's putting up a massive fight to secure his 4th victory in a row, but it's Tackman following him closely in the Corvette, the green, white and black Corvette of Danielsson Motorsports Virtual, and so Staal has his work cut out. He needs to stay in front of him, and it's not that he can follow Greco, it's that he must defend against Tackman. They're now getting close again to the pit area, and Tackman on the inside. Tackman on the inside getting very close indeed, and also in the 180-degree turn that we're approaching now, Tackman in the last 2 laps was slightly faster than Staal. Staal taking a defensive line there, not giving Tackman a chance to move past. And on the straights, the Aston Martin, the virtual Aston Martin, can pull away a little, so that always gives Staal a bit of a breathing space before they come to the more technical passages. Now Tackman closing in again. Maybe he tries to make a move in that very, very slow passage that we have now. Up the hill, into the left-hander, and Staal is very close to the inside line. No chance for Tackman at all. Perfect racing here by Vincen Staal, but of course he must defend it, of course he's losing time, and of course David Greco can pull away all the time. But what can he do? He has a really great racer at his back. He's got Fredrik Tackman, and now we're approaching that turn that has cost so many nerves tonight. They're both into the turn, and Staal again, as usual, a bit wide here, but he always hits a perfect speed coming out of the turn. It's amazing how much speed the guy takes out onto the next bit. Now this passage is where Tackman really gets close. This turn and now this next turn, look how close he is. He's on the curbs, out of the turn again, bit of a problem for Staal there, bit of a slide. Tackman moving on the outside, and now Staal is into the pits, I think. Yes, he is. Staal into the pits, and this puts Danielsson Motorsports Virtual within reach of their first STC triumph. Now it's a battle of the giants. It's Tackman in the Corvette for the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual against David Greco of the Black Rebels. Folks, this looked to be like a race between the GMT-DHR Racing and the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, but it's a completely different picture up at the front, isn't it? It's David Greco for the Black Rebels leading the race, with Fredrik Tackman for Danielsson Motorsports Virtual in position number 2. And where have the GMT-DHR Racers gone, and where have the Roaring Pipes Maniacs gone? Let me give you a quick update after visiting the time screen while you follow Fredrik Tackman round MoIRana. So, back again from the timing screen, and it tells me that Damien Denhumain is in 3 for the GMT-DHR Racing, and Vincen Staal is in an awesome 5th position after a second pit stop. And Dragos Haber, and this is terrible news for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, is down to 13 and down 1 lap. So they have 1 car out because there was a problem at the start. That was Rami Kaukula. Never could show us what he can do in the rain here at Mo I Rana, other than setting a 5th position in the qualifying. And it's 3 and 5 for GMT-DHR Racing, which would give them, let's check the points table, hang on. Sorry folks, sorting my papers here. So 3 and 5 would give them 21 and 19 points. That would be 40 points for the GMT-DHR Racing at this point. And position number 13 for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs would give them 12. So it would be an advantage of 28 points for the GMT-DHR Racing at the end of this race. Together with their 13 points leads they brought into the race, this would definitely secure them the championship. With about half an hour to go of the championship, it's a fair bet to say that GMT-DHR Racing are set to win for the first time and to dethrone the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, who won the last time round. And Jose, everybody seems to have settled in a little into their positions. I've just had my personal rundown of the grid, and on the timing screen it looks as if there are no great battles at the moment. So here we are, time for the rundown, isn't it? I've proposed it, I think, 4 or 5 times. We never managed to do it because there was such interesting fights going on. Vincen Staal overtaking many guys at Dragos Harbor, having to leave the track, and but now everything's settled down a bit for the last half hour. And it's David Greco up in front, in position number 2.
Eckhart, we need a sponsor for the rundown. It sounds really good if you say, and now it's the rundown sponsored by. I think we have to contact some brands for that.
Yeah, well, we have a sponsor, don't we? So it's the rundown, the famous rundown of the STC League, and it's sponsored by the GameHosters.net, who provide us with brilliant servers day in, day out, every Thursday night, and also for the training sessions that people have along the week. And Jose, talking of the GameHosters.net, and we're stopping our rundown again, I can see, but talking of the GameHosters.net, what is the grand prize that's up for grabs tonight?
Well, we managed to put 3 prizes for the first 3 teams. Instead of decide one for the first, one for the second, one for the third, the teams will decide in order which prize they prefer.
All right, so what are they?
The first prize is 6 months free GTR Evolution server, or STCC also, I mean all the pack. 25 slots public server for as the biggest prize, I suppose. The winning team will take this prize, but you never know. Then
yep,
second,
and the prize
we have
provided by the game hosters, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
they provide
brilliant.
this first prize.
Second prize?
The second one is a TeamSpeak server. It can be useful for the teams if they want to train and speak while training.
Yep.
It's difficult to find prizes for a world team, because if not, you can give a wheel or something. But in this case, well,
yeah, they can't share the wheel, can they?
Yeah, and the third prize is STC merchandising. We are still waiting for it from the business that made it for us, but it's skirt. No, skirt. Oh my God, what did I say? Skirt is a shirt.
A shirt.
Yes.
so it's the original
I think it's
STC
another
shirt.
team.
The skirt is, well, probably most of the racers wouldn't like that. Maybe we have some Scottish racers here who go in for that, but I think most of the chaps wouldn't exactly fancy a skirt. No, so it's a shirt, price number 3, and it will bear the STC logo, won't it? Well, it probably will. So, there we are, in the middle of the rundown. We're stuck at 2 with Fredrik Tackman, and he's following David Greco. I was talking earlier about maybe this being the first victory for the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual, but as it looks at this point, Greco is pulling away a little. Position number 3 then for you. Damien Danumain for the supposed champions for the GMT-DHR Racing. Position number 4. Ralph Iden for the flat-out racers. So that'll give them, position number 4, 20 points. 25 points for the Black Rebels. And the Black Rebels were 14 points away before the race. And let's see where the other racers are. So it's 5 points up for the Rebels for the first driver. Position number 5, Vincen Staal for the GMT-DHR Racing. Position number 6, and this is the highest mover in the charts this week. No, the highest mover on the track tonight. It's Mr. John Westerlund for the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual. Remember, he came from grid position number 16. He's up 10 places in position number 6. Position number 7, Ben Tusting for the Black Visors. He used to be slightly higher up, but if you compare that to his grid position, he is where he started. He started in 7, he is in 7, and he's following the Danielsson racer very closely, so that might be the battle of the last 20 minutes. Position number 8, Brian Stark for the flat-out juniors. Thankfully for the Black Rebels, this is not a flat-out proper racer, but a flat-out junior. Position number 9, Mike Wrightson for the DHR Fanatec team. We saw him in the lead, and now he's in the pits. He's been to the pits, and now he's down to 9, but a great race by Mr. Wrightson. Position number 10, the second of the Black Rebels, Michael Helen. Position number 10 and 1 gives them an overall points 39. Position number 11, Christopher Larsson, my team, the Blue Flag Racing, and glad to see one of the Blue Flag racers still in the race. We've had awfully bad luck the last 2 races, and it just feels so good to have one car still on the track. So, Christopher Larsson in position number 11. Position number 12, Dragos Haba, down a lap, but on his way up, trying to recover as much as he can for the defending champions for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. Position number 13, Carl Dubois, the second racer for the team DHR Fanatec, the junior team of the GMT-DHR. And position number 14, Tim Hogendorn, the second of the Black Visors. He must have run into trouble earlier on. We didn't catch it on screen. It's not where Tim Hogendorn is usually found. Position number 15, still in the race, still fighting, still battling, still going strong, Guillaume Landois, Landais, first time out for him in the STC, and he's doing a great job here tonight at Virtual MoIRana. And that's it, position number 16, Eckhard von Glan sitting in the PSR TV booth. So, we only have one of the flat-out racing on the grid. That one car, if I'm not mistaken, is sitting pretty in position number 5. Ralph Iden taking 19 points for the team. But we have 25 in position number 1. And what did I say? Wasn't it 10 or something? Let's have a quick look. Position number 10 for the Black Rebels, 14. So 39 overall versus 19. So they take, the Black Rebels at this point take 20 points off the flat-out club. 20 points off with a lead of 14 points going into the race for the flat-out club would mean they lose position number 3 to the Black Rebels. So congratulations, Jose. At this point, all you need to do now is get both of the rides back home safely. What do you think? Will the guys manage to come back home safely?
Hope so, but we are a tragedy specialist sometime. You remember the awesome race David was doing, making a third place, battling with a lot of agents, and he ran out of fuel in the last lap. So,
yep.
I don't want to say, yeah, it's done until it's done.
Okay, as they say, it ain't over till it's over, isn't it? So let's move to that fight we saw along the way. The closest battle on the grid is John Westerlund for the Danielsson Motorsports in position number 6 versus Ben Tusting for the Black Visors in position number 7. And while we've been following that track here, fight here on the track, I've been quickly checking the time, and it's 19 minutes to go before the STC this year is over for you, before the 12 races have come to a finish. And while we're following, let me remind you of the races we've had so far, because I've been a good boy and I've checked all the results to bring them back to you, to tell you who actually won the races this season. And let's go back to the very start. We started off Watkins Glen, and that was the Roaring Pipes Maniacs race there, and they scored the first victory in the first race. It was Christian Haber, whose brother Drago is on the track tonight, in number 1. It was Mikko Korkiakoski for GMT in position number 2, and Mike Simeon for the Flatouts in position number 3. So we had the teams that are at 1, 2, 3 at the moment already at 1, 2, 3, but with slightly different positions in the first race. Then, for the second race, that was a sports race at Watkins. It was Damien Desnumain for the GMT in front, followed by Carl Dubois for the DHR Fanatec, best position for them the whole year round, the whole season, and Dave Nickel for the Black Rebels in position number 3, so a podium for the Black Rebels in the second race. Then we moved over to the A1 ring in Austria. I think it was the flat-out race, I'm not quite sure, but it was at any rate Tim Hogendorn for the Black Visors who debuted at that race, and he took the victory in the first race for the Black Visors, and it was Christian Haber for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs who had a problem with the pit stop, if I remember correctly, and who finished second after leading for much of the race. And then again Mikko Korkiakoski for the GMT in position number 3. Then we had the sports race at the A1 ring, and it was Christian Haber this time winning the race because the pit worked perfectly. He was followed by Mike Simeon for the flat-outs, and then Theo Bubicic for the GMT racers in position number 3. Next we moved to a very, very technical track indeed. It was the Black Rebels home track. It was Vallelunga near Rome. And it was Jack Heasley of the GMT-DHR who scored the victory there in the Pro in the rain. It was Mike Simeon for the flat-out in position number 2, and Theo Bubicic for GMT again in position number 3. And notice how GMT just has an awful lot of awfully good racers. Then it was the sports race, and it was Christian Haber again for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, scoring his third victory of the season there. Then it was David Greco of the Black Rebels. I vividly remember that race. He had a problem, I think, in the qualifying. Had to start from way down the grid and moved up the grid into position number 2. And it was Rami Kaukola for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs securing third position. We then moved to Donington, and it was, I think, the home race of the GMT. And it was Martin Skripczak for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs who secured the victory in the pros, followed by a guy called Lindau. Sorry, I haven't got his first name here on my list, for the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual, and I think their first outing in the series. and then Vesterinen for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs in position number 3. For the sports race, it was another win for Tim Hogendorn for the Black Visors, followed by Reese Notenboom, yet another very fast GMT guy, and then Kisielewski for Flat Out in position number 3. So the last stage was Dijon, Prenois. That was the GG home race. It was Vincen Staal winning his first race in his first outing in the STC for the GMT racers. It was Rami Kaukola for Roaring Pipes Maniacs in 2, and Tim Hogendorn for the Visors in position number 3. Then we have the sports race at Dijon. It was again Vincen Staal for the GMT, scoring his second victory in a row. It was Rami Kaukola again in position number 2, but this time it was Teo Bubicic for GMT, finishing in podium position number 3. And the final race before this one here, the penultimate race of the series, took us to Mo I Rana for the Blue Flag Racing home circuit up in Norway. And it was again Vincen Staal, third time in a row. Up there, position number 1, position number 2 for Drago Haba for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, and position number 3 for Marcinkowski for the Flat Out Racers. So those were all the podiums for you, just to bring back those memories. And with about 10 minutes in the race left, I would say GMT-DHR Racing, time to open the champagne, or at least take the bottle out. You are very close to securing this year's great prize. Well, time to sum up the series in a certain way. Jose, which racer are we following at the moment?
Well, I'm doing a rundown to check the positions.
All right. While you do that,
with Mikael.
Okay. Always good to see him. So, while we're doing the rundown, give us your feedback on the series this year. Everything worked out the way you wanted?
Well, in general, yes. We had some technical problems. I didn't expect it. We missed 2 or 3 races in the broadcast, and well, that was a bit disappointed. But in general, yes, I'm pretty happy. I think everybody is putting a lot of compromise on it and doing a big effort to make this league better every day. And I think it's really a young championship, but with the support of the teams, and now, for example, with the support of race department also, it grew a lot. And now it's pretty known. We have a lot of people watching the broadcast, and the quality of the racing and overall the ambience is really good, because there is a very high competitiveness, but still everybody is talking in a very relaxed way and acting like if it was a friendly race out of a league, and I think that's a victory in both senses.
I agree with you 150% on that one, Jose. It's been a fantastic series. We've seen some really awesome races, some very close fights all through the race, and also then some great surprises, didn't we? People having trouble at the end of the race, people moving up the grid. As I said, I remember David Greco at Vallelunga. I think he moved from position 18 to 2. And while we're speaking, there is in fact a battle going on, and it's my team that's involved. It's Christopher Larsson in position number 12, under heavy pressure from Tim Hogendorn. in position number 13. So that, I think, at this point is the closest battle. So let's give these guys in the last 10 minutes some airtime, don't we?
Yes, yes, of course, we are with them.
And we know Hogendorn, we know how fast he is, and we know he's going to move past my Blue Flag Racing teammate. No, he isn't. He is drawing back a little. Brilliant fight here by Christopher. Let's not forget that these guys have done 80 minutes now, and so concentration must be very, very difficult indeed. But Christopher stays in control. Christopher stays in front. Tim Hogendorn in second here. They're now in this very slow passage and now downhill again. And Christopher taking a very defensive line here, and Hogendorn now is very quick out of the turn. But there is actually no way you can pass here, because if you leave the best line, your car or your virtual ride starts to slide at once. Now out of the turn, Hogendorn is again faster. He's moving in for the attack, and he is passed. Let's see if he can put it through. Larsson with a very clever line here, but Hogendorn can manage. That flat-out racer is a lap faster, and so let's not be bothered by him. But I suppose that Hogendorn will be moving away rather quickly now. Battle here by Larsson, trying to defend his position number 11 against Hogendorn, but now he's down to 12, and it looks as if Hogendorn can pull away. Well, that was a close battle at the end of the race. Too bad my team was on the losing side, but there you are. He's still in the race, he's still in position number 12, and he's doing a heck of a job here in the rain at virtual Mo I Rana. So, other than reminiscing about the STC, Jose, what are the plans for the near future? Do you have the next series already lined up?
Well, yes, the only change we will like to introduce is the dynamic weather. The last season we didn't do it because was not tried, but we tried it during this season. We made different tests, and it seems that it works really good. Anyway, we will try it during the summer in a individual cup. We want to organize to have fun with the drivers of the teams and other people if wants to join. And yeah, it's the only change, because it seems that the format works, people likes it, and other ideas like introduce new cars or maybe mixed grids are pretty much discarded because we're not very popular.
Yeah, I also like the format very much. It worked very well. There's been a lot of discussion there, or there was a lot of discussion, wasn't there, before this series. Let's not forget it's the third of its kind that we're doing. It's the second that's broadcast. We started out with the original Blue Cup. That was still the WTCC Racers. That was still the old Race 07 game. Then we did the Black Cup. That was already the format that we're seeing here, and this is now the second Blue Cup. So what I've done actually, Jose, is I've done an all-time table, because some of the teams have been around from the very beginning. And you'd be surprised to hear that in the all-time league table of the Blue Cup and the Black Cup, it's the Roaring Pipes Maniacs who are leading the table with 822 points. Second position would then be the GMT-DHR with 735 points. And your team, the Black Rebels, are in position number 3 with 727 points. So even if we look at, like 3 series in a row, it's the teams at the front that stay in front that have really dominated these series here the last 1.5 years. And how much time do we have left in the race? It's 6 minutes to go. back in P1 with David Greco, who is, if I remember my own rundown correctly, actually is the first win for him this season. If he can pull it off with only 5 minutes to go, it very much looks as if he can. And it would also be the first win for the Black Rebels this season, so congratulations to your team, Jose. You really managed to pull it off right at the end of the season, didn't you? And it should move you into third place and should get you one of the prizes.
Yes, let's see one, because we will choose the last one.
The wonderful shirt. So you're off to Le Mans then, and I hear that my other co-commentator, Andreas Hultgren, is already there, following the qualifying, the practice tonight. And will you be staying in tents, or will you be in hotels, nice and cozy?
No, actually, we rent a motorhome, and that's why David Garcia is not here now, because he's driving the motorhome from his place in the southeast of Spain to the very north, where I live, to then go to Le Mans in a motorhome. I have to say thanks to David, because he worked a lot for the STC, and then he missed the last race, and I know he really wanted to be here today. But it was our only chance to arrive on time for the 24 hours.
Okay, and what are we talking about?
Now people saying that I'm going to be ranked 24 hours, but well, I can do that here at my place. I think I will watch the race there.
Yeah,
maybe.
And we're watching the race here, and I'm afraid while we were talking, I just got a little note here on my screen from my teammate saying we should watch for positions number 2 and 3. And Jose, if you can move the camera there, you will find that position number 2 is none other than our friend Vincen Staal. He has actually done it. He has moved up the grid. He has just now passed Fredrik Tackman. So rather than having the first of the Danielsson Motorsport virtual guys win here, unfortunately, well, he's still on the podium, but he had to drop down one position to a hard-charging Vincen Staal. With only 3 minutes of the race to go, I suppose, he is in position number 2, which is, incidentally, the same position that he had on the grid. So he had to do one pit stop more than the rest of them, and he is in position number 2. Now that is what I call an awesome performance by Vincen Staal. And Tackman is losing position rapidly to him, while Greco is still securely in the lead, almost half a lap away.
Eckhard, do you know what I will love to do in this last race that we didn't do until now?
Go ahead. What?
Be 100% sure of when the race finishes, because we always have doubts in the last lap.
Yeah, Andreas Hultgren could make...
No, look, there's... which color is that flag? Is it the checkered one, or no, or yes, or... I would love to be able to say, and this is the last lap.
Yes. Any guy at Simbin, any of the developers watching us here, it would be so great to have some sort of tool or some sort of on-screen stuff that would tell you that right now you're in the last lap of the race. It would make life a lot easier. But I think Andreas Hultgren, who is into making videos and stuff, could really put together a nice video of all the things we said in the last 2 minutes or so of the races. Is this the last final lap now, or is he out? No, he's not. He's still doing one more lap, and it was really quite funny at times. Yes, I'm checking the timing screen again. And it says 42 seconds for David Greco still to do. And since Mr. Greco is now out on the back stretch of the track, going into 180-degree turn for the last time, I suppose that this is not the last lap, but the lap before. And he's moving across the line now, and we still have 10 seconds to go. So I think, Jose, this time we can be pretty sure that this now is the last lap for David Greco.
Well, let's see.
You remain a skeptic. He is in the lead. He is in position number 1. And while he's finishing his last lap, let me tell you the positions. 15, it's Gaylord Landais for GG. 14, it's Ben Tusting for the Black Visors. 13, it's Carl Dubois. And 12, it's Tim Hogendorn, again for the Black Visors. 11, it's Christopher Larsson for the Blue Flag Racing. 10, it's Dragos Haber for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. 9, it's Mike Whiteson for the DHR Fanatec. 8, it's Brian Stark for the Flat Out Racers. 7, it's Mikael Helen, again for the Black Rebels. 6, it's John Westerlund for the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual. 5, it's Ralph Iden for the Team Flat Out. 4, it's Damien Daigneaumane for the GMT-DHR Racing. 3, it's Fredrik Tackman for the Virtual Danielsson Motorsports Virtual. And 2, it's Vincen Staal for the GMT-DHR. And now we see David Greco out on the start and finish line again. He's across the line, his car is twitching, that means he has won the race. So let's move to position number 2 very quickly, because it's Vincen Staal approaching the finish. He has done a brilliant performance here, a bit unlucky at the beginning, got a little touch, had to go out, had to pit, but he is in position number 2. Position number 3, Fredrik Tackman, into the finish now for him. A great race for Danielsson Motorsport Virtual. Position number 4, and that's where the battle is. And it's Damien Daigneaumane in 4, and it's Ralph Iden in 5, and it might be that Iden attacks him in the very, very last corner. Ralph Iden in 5, Daigneaumane in 4, but Daigneaumane is one good racer, and he's not going to have that 4th position taken away from him. Damien Daigneaumane in 4, Ralph Iden flashes the lights, he's in 5. And it is John Westerlund for the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual in 6, Mikael Helen in 7, Brian Stark in 8, Mike Whiteson in 9, Dragos Haber in 10, Christopher Larsson in 11, Tim Hogendorn in 12, Carl Dubois in 13, Ben Tusting in 14, and Gaylord Landais, last guy actually racing, last turn of the race, and he may be across the finish line now any second. He's out on the straight, and his virtual meters are the last one for the STC. The STC is over. We have a champion, and it's GMT-DHR Racing who take the championship with a 2nd place by Vincen Staal and a 4th place by Damien Daigneaumane. So congratulations to the GMT-DHR Racing team.
Yes, we will hear now the anthem in our honor, because this last race in honor of TBR, and then the UK anthem for GMT-DHR. Enjoy.
Well, that was the last race of the STC, Mo I Rana, the blue flag race here, our home Grand Prix, and with me now is third position Fredrik Tackman of the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual. Fredrik, congratulations to your first podium finish in the STC.
Thank you very much. It was a very funny race.
Yeah, tell us a bit about your impressions. You started in 4, but something happened in turn 1. We couldn't quite see it. What went wrong there?
I was surprised by some moves on the start-finish. Start-finish. So they were slowing down, and people coming from the back with speed, and it was a bit tangled up, and I was pushed aside and lost 2 places.
Yeah, but you recovered, and then I had the impression that you were really doing a very sensible kind of race, not taking any risks at all.
No, I really tried to get past Ralph Aiden, but he was like a brick wall. He drove very well and covered up every attempt I made. But okay, I tried to take it nice and not go off the track.
Yeah, we saw you following there for a long time, and in the end you somehow managed to get past, and then you were up to David Greco, at one point, and we thought you might make a move for the lead. What kept you? Was it more David's speed, or was it more your car going to pieces slowly?
I was in on lap 28, so my tires began to fall off a bit just as I started to close in, and then David managed to pull away instead.
Okay, so the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual joined us midway to the season. What's your impression of the STC overall in the team?
It's the most ambitious league I have competed in, with the live comment and live broadcasting, very well organized everything. I think it's really great.
Thank you for the roses. And will you be back next season, the team?
Yes, for sure. We are thrilled about this, and we will surely be back.
And we would love to have you back. Great racing by you. So, thank you very much, Fredrik Tackman. That was position number 3. With me now also in the room is, I can see Dragos Haber, very quick brother of Christian Haber. Dragos, what happened to you at the end of the start and finish straight, I would say about 1 hour into the race?
Oh, that was an interesting little predicament I got myself in. I was definitely catching to everyone, and I knew that Vincent was slowing David Greco, sorry. Basically, I wanted to go for the outside on Vincent, but it was kind of bad timing because I noticed that he closed the gap a little bit to the outside line, and I had to go on the gravel, so I lost traction, and that just sent me hurtling into the wall.
Yep, I think we just caught the last bit of your hurtling movement there, and then it was the worst place really to do that, wasn't it? Because you had to crawl back a whole lap.
Yeah, but you know, racing is about taking chances, and I'm not one to back down from a challenge. I really enjoyed racing with everyone here, and it was definitely a lot of fun. And I really wanted to go for Mr. David Greco, and I knew I could take him in the first stint. I knew that he had better tires during the end of the stint, but that was just the problem ahead, and I'm sure I could have done my job and held him off until the end of the race. I guess maybe it was hopeful thinking, but I tried and I failed, but that's all right. I had fun.
All right, and the RPM, you've lost the championship, I'm afraid, to the GMT-DHR. Any hard feelings there, or was it a fair fight?
Well, it definitely was. It was a fair fight. There is no hard feelings from me. I definitely had a good time. I know that we really lost a lot of chances because Rami unfortunately had the DC at the very beginning of the race. So that cut us down to half power, let's say, and we had to fight. But you know,
Yep.
it happened.
And fight you did. It happens, yes, and that's racing, isn't it, that these things actually happen. So, thank you very much, Dragos Haba, for being with us. Do I have Vincen Staal in the room with me?
Yeah, you do.
Brilliant. So, Vincent, you had a bit of a touch pretty early on in the race in lap 10 or something, and tell us, what did you feel at that moment?
Yeah, well, I was just leading. I started with 160 liters, so with a fuel tank, and I wasn't going to refuel at all in the pit stop. But then David Greco just took me out from behind, I guess, and well, I lost my front wing or something like that. So I just pitted, and that cost me an extra 50 seconds or something, because I knew that the tires wouldn't last for 1 hour and 15 minutes, so I had to pit again in the end. So kind of sucked because I could have won this one.
Yep, it would have been the 4th in a row, so on the other hand, you made a great fight back up, so that kind of put you in a better mood, or how is it right now at the end of the race?
Well, of course, I'm happy to come second and claim the championship for GMT. That's, of course, a great feeling, but knowing that I could have won the race and I just only become second, that doesn't feel that great. So.
Okay, I think it's time for a nice cold beer and sitting back in a relaxed position and coming to terms with that. But congratulations to the championship, GMT-DHR racers.
Thank you.
Tell me, how on earth, where do you get all these great races from?
Well, I think Mikko should answer that question, really.
Okay, with us also Mikko Korkiakowski. Mikko, your name has been on the broadcast because you were in one of the podium positions earlier on in the season. Can you tell us where GMT-DHR takes all these brilliant races from?
Well, actually, I'm not the right person either to answer that. We should ask Damien, but he seems to be out of the broadcast. So, but I think GMT has good reputation, and Damien is doing some excellent job in recruiting some new talent like Vince here. So I think it's a combination of many things, but mainly I'd say that Damien is doing an excellent job.
Okay, so kudos to Damien Danumain, the guy behind GMT-DHR, but kudos also to a great team winning the championship. Is there going to be an online team celebration later tonight?
I don't think so. I'm gonna go to sleep now because I have an early morning. So maybe some beers tomorrow. But I think Vince is going to a party now. So Vince is going to have to party for all of us.
Okay, so congratulations again to the GMT-DHR guys, and my last guest tonight is Mikael Helen, who is also my co-commentator from time to time. Mikael, the race from your position.
Well, not much to say. Qualify more than half a second worse than my best time in the practice, so not good. And, well, start was just okay. I mean, being in the back is just more or less following the others for a while to see if they make any mistakes. And they start doing that and pick up the pace a little bit. So, well, it was up to about 7 or so when I had some kind of a video card problem and some antivirus problems. So I lost about 30 seconds, breaking in panic with no picture. And after that, everything went fine. So, I don't know. Was all in all, it was a good race because he just told me we managed to take the 3rd position. So that's great.
Yep, sending in Mr. Greco definitely helped. Well done to all of you. It's been great watching you. It looked like a perfect race on a highly interesting track that probably none of you have raced so much before. And it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye for the STC, but the final word, of course, must go to Jose. Bye-bye from me, Eggert van Glaan, your friendly voice on the STC, and check out when the next series will be on. And over to you, Jose, for the final words.
Well, thanks, Eckart. Not really. I only want to say thanks to everybody, to the teams, to the people who spend a lot of time helping to make the championship possible, like you, Eckart, and thanks to all the staff, especially to David, because he worked from the first moment with maximum enthusiasm to make this league possible, and he missed the last race because he's driving the motorhome here. And
yeah, but Le Mans is brilliant.
Yeah. Of course. Thanks to all the teams, thanks to race department, to SRT, to PSRTV, and well, to all the people that made this possible. And see you after the summer, or maybe in the summer with a funny league or something we can work out.
And of course, thanks to all you guys for doing a great job.
Definitely. Thank you, guys. You did a great job. It was amazing. Also, congrats to GMT-DHR. You guys just stole it away. Good job.
Thanks, guys. Really,
yeah,
really thanks.
Good.
Okay, so see you after the summer. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Kiitos ja näkemiin.